On today's episode of MR Triton, is the MR Triton overpriced? So on today's episode, what we're going to talk about is the current price point that the MR Triton sits at. So as we all know, COVID-19 hit a number of industries and markets drastically in many ways. So as a result of this and the shortage of semiconductors, what's happened is the price of new cars has gone up. Back when I bought my MR Triton in 2019, late 2019, the MR Triton GLX retailed at a price of $36,000 roughly. I bought my car, and I say it all the time, I got it for $30,990 drive away. Fantastic deal, unheard of these days, cheaper than a lot of MQ Tritons were going for the same spec at that time. So what we'll do is we'll start by talking about current pricing of the MR Triton. So currently the GLX MR Triton Auto goes for $40,890 drive away. Mitsubishi aren't doing the GLX in a manual for reasons unknown to me, because you would think that if you're buying a base spec ute, you would want a manual. But they're only doing them in an automatic. Now that being a retail price, with a bit of haggling, you're looking at getting a GLX base model, no attachments, no accessories, in an automatic, for around $38,000 to $39,000 on average if you haggle a little bit with the dealer. But if you want that manual, you've got to pay a couple grand extra on that retail price of the MR Triton. The GLX Plus manual is going for $41,440, which is a weirdly specific price. And the GLX Plus Auto is going for $43,690 drive away. So as you'd expect, the manual is cheaper than the Auto if you're buying a GLX Plus. But if you want a manual base spec Triton, you can't just get the GLX, you got to get the GLX Plus. But if you just want a cheap work ute and you want an auto because you're going to be in traffic all day, the GLX Auto is the way to go. So here I am just listing the price of MR Tritons. What's my point? As you know, the used car market has gone ballistic at the moment. If you don't know that, you're living under a rock. I'll tell you this. My cousin, having an R50 Pathfinder, drove it off the edge of a sand dune. He bought this petrol clapped out V6 4-wheel drive for $3,000 or $4,000. He rode it off just after COVID, and insurance paid him out around $6,000 or $7,000 because the used car market has gone ballistic. I'm hearing stories like that constantly lately of cars that value going through the roof. Think about this right now. People are currently selling GLX base model manual MR Tritons in 2019 for in the $40,000 mark used. I bought my car for $30,990. The profit margin on my car, if I sold it now with 15 to 16,000 kilometers on the odometer, it'd be tremendous. When has a work ute ever been this kind of an investment outside of a 70 series Land Cruiser? It's bizarre. So is the MR Triton overpriced? There's two trains of thought that I have right now when I'm analysing this scenario, because not all of you guys are going to be buying a brand new MR Triton. Looking at the automatic GLX Triton for $40,000, is that overpriced? No, it's not. But the other point of view I have on this is the used car market. These base spec GLX MQ Tritons going for $39,999 on carsales.com right now. People for some reason think that they're sitting on a gold mine with these used base model utes, and it blows my mind. Now I understand if you've got this vehicle and that's what the market's doing at the moment, why would you sell it for less than what it's worth? Fair enough. But these cars are used. This is a 2018 model MQ. It's a couple years old now, and people are still trying to get what you would pay for retail price for a car. Now you put a car up for 40 grand used and you expect that someone's going to haggle you down by about a grand or two, but even still, $38,000 for a well and truly used 4 to 5 year old ute, that is overpriced. The GLS top spec MR Triton goes for around $52,000 when you factor in a set of alloys, a tonneau cover, tub liner, rubber floor mats, these sorts of things that you get, maybe the nicer graphite color paint. $52,000 is not an unreasonable price to pay when you consider that a lower spec BT50 Mazda is sitting at about $55,000. Is that price unreasonable? I don't know, because I've never driven one. But is the price of an MR Triton brand new too high? I'm still saying no. Without question, the MR Triton is the best value for money budget dual cap ute on the market. I've shown you what this vehicle can do. I've shown you that if you buy a GLX base model MR Triton for a low price of around $40,000 to $41,000 with a bit of extra money, you get a few mods, you make it a nice comfortable weekend camper, you'll get years out of this vehicle. It'll do all your trade work, it'll do all your farm work, and it'll get you out to those fun spots on the weekend. So a bit of a conclusive thought here. Is the MR Triton brand new overpriced? No. Are MR Tritons in the used car market overpriced? Yes. Are used MQ Tritons on the market overpriced? Absolutely. So if you're in the market for a affordable dual cab ute, I would honestly avoid the used car market. I would honestly go and buy a new Triton. In conclusion, MR Tritons are not overpriced. If you're gonna buy a Triton, buy a new one. So as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I've got a very exciting lineup of videos, comparisons, weigh ups and matchups coming up for you guys in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you look at my kick-ass inverter giveaway video, the previous video I just uploaded, for your chance to win a 1200 watt dual sine wave digital inverter. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.